Jen, sit next to you, one.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome on board the Mercedes on our journey to St Catherine's or the Tower of London. We do have a few stops on the way as we pass through the next bridge. We've just got to make a very short stop at Embankment here, just to pick up a few more passengers. Once we leave, we cross the river to Festival Pier, also to pick up a few more people. We will then make our way to Bankside for the Globe Theatre, Tate Modern Art Gallery, and then on to St Catherine's for the Tower of London. If you just bear with me for a few minutes, just want to make these couple of stops. As soon as we leave, I will give you more information about the journey. In the meantime, if anyone would like any refreshments, we do have a fully licensed bar where you can obtain teas, coffees, hard and soft drinks, light bar snacks.
Boat trip up the Thames. Started about. Jen?
Yeah. But just think what you can see when you're up there. That's why it's where it is, because you can see everything.
It's confusing because it's we're up in North South Park.
Yeah.
The river's going north and south, and the river is going east and west. So when you look from there, you always look sort of 90 degrees in the wrong direction.
Där går det, där går såna bussar som vi kört med i går, sant? Ser du det? De røde bussene. Var det greit at vi kom på båtbussen? Hæ? Litt ok?
Used to be known as Atcham, Matcham and Dispatcham. It's now owned by Atcham, the Inland Revenue. Now if you look over to our right hand side, ladies and gents, behind the trees you will see a tall tower block with dark glass windows. Also there's a smaller building behind the trees. These are the ITV studios. It's where they film programmes such as The X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, Dancing on Ice, Anton Deck's Saturday Night Takeaway. It is all filmed on your right hand side. If you look just above the tree line on your right, you can just make out the logo there of the building, ITV. Now if you keep looking on our right hand side, ladies and gents, just where you can see the small beach area, well you can't now because it's covered by the tide, but keep looking on the right. Very shortly there you're going to see a small white building. It's got 4 black windows. This is where they film this morning's breakfast programme. It is actually this part of the River Thames that they use as a backdrop throughout the day. So if you do want to get on telly for a few minutes, give a little wave to your right hand side, nice big smile as if you're really enjoying yourselves. You might find yourself on daytime telly. If you're with someone else's husband or wife, look to your left hand side. And there are quite a few people looking to the left hand side. But also coming up on your right hand side you'll see a red brick building with the OXO Tower. Many years ago it was illegal to advertise on the banks of the River Thames. OXO come up with a very clever idea. They installed their logo in the shape of windows. Of a night when they turn their lights on, the word OXO shines out red over most of London. The top floor of that building where you can see the glassed-in viewing gallery, that is actually an R.V. Nichols restaurant. It's very nice but also very expensive. Now if you look in front of us on the left hand side, you will see a white building with a green sloping roof and the black pinnacle on the top. This is the old City of London School for Boys. Lord Asquith used to go to this school. Look to the face of the building between the archway windows. You can see 4 statues. From left to right, these are of John Milton, Sir Isaac Newton, Sir Francis Bacon, and of course, David Beckham. He's the one on the end with a football and the Gucci jackets. I'm only joking, of course. The one on the end is William Shakespeare. We all know that David never went to school. Now, ladies and gents, the next bridge in front of us will be the Blackfriars Road Bridge. If you look to the support columns of the bridge, either side of the archways, you can see they've been built to represent the pulpits of a church that was under the express wish of Queen Victoria. Now, as we pass through the bridge, ladies and gents, if you take a look either side of the boat, you will very shortly see 8 red support columns. These are what remains from the old St Paul's Railway Bridge. It was built by Isambard Kingdom Brunel. You will see they took the top piece of the bridge away. It came unsafe from the modern day trains. They left the support columns in place, fear of undermining the foundations of the new railway bridge. Look how closely they've been built together. So the last bridge in a group of 3 is the Blackfriars Railway Bridge. Now, as we go beneath the bridge, ladies and gents, if you look over to your left-hand side, dominating London's skyline, you'll see the dome and golden cross of St Paul's Cathedral. It does stand at 365 feet tall, that being 1 foot for each day of the year. It has the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in Europe. It took 35 years to build, completed in 1710. Now, if you look over to your right-hand side, ladies and gents, you'll see a brown brick building with a chimney, the old Bankside Power Station, been converted into the Tate Modern Art Gallery. If you wish to go inside that building, they do show exhibits like a pile of old bricks, a bit of screwed up newspaper, half a cow in a jar, and a light bulb that flashes on and off. So I do highly recommend it. What a fantastic day out. Now, the next bridge in front of us, ladies and gents, is the Millennium Footbridge. You may recognise this bridge from the Harry Potter film. It was Half-Blood, when the bridge collapses into the River Thames. Now, as we go beneath the bridge, ladies and gents, just coming up on your right-hand side behind the trees, you will see a white circular building. It's got oak beams and a thatched roof. It's the new Globe Theatre, a replica of Shakespeare's old Globe, opened up by Her Majesty the Queen with a seating of 1,600 people. You can go over there today and watch an old Shakespearean play being reenacted. Anything like Romeo and Juliet, or one of the other good ones as well. Oh yeah, Hamlet, that's my favourite. Now, ladies and gents, we're just coming into our next stop. This is Bankside Pier for the Globe Theatre and the Tate Modern Art Gallery. For those of you leaving us at this point, please make sure you got all your personal belongings. We do only stop for a minute or two. We are in direct to St Catherine's for the tower. For those who stand on board, just bear with me, folks, for a couple of minutes. Just got to go and get the ropes out on the pier. As soon as we leave, I'll carry on with the commentary, and I would just like to thank you for your very kind attention on the journey downstream so far. Thank you.
Police boat?
roads are so well hidden into the back streets, the one-way systems of London, not many Londoners actually know that the bridge exists. It was built in 1921 to relieve some of the congestion off of the old London Bridge. It is said if you see anyone on the bridge today, give them a little wave up there, because they're most probably utterly lost. Now as we pass through the bridge, ladies and gents, the next bridge in front of this one will be Cannon Street Railway Bridge. Look to the right-hand corner of the bridge, you'll see a brown brick building with red window frames, the Anchor Tavern of Bankside. This pub is just over 400 years old, built in 1615. Used to be frequented by Dr. Johnson and Samuel Pepys, two of this country's most famous diarists. It's also a small bed and breakfast. You can actually stay over there. I would highly recommend it. Probably one of the nicest pubs on the river. I've been to quite a few, purely for research, of course. But as I say, that is a lovely pub, the Anchor Tavern Bankside. Now, as we pass through the bridge, ladies and gents, if you look just in front of us on the right-hand side, in Wet Dock, we have a full-scale working replica of Sir Francis Drake's old ship, the Golden Hind. The original one sailed around the world once. This replica has sailed the world twice, taking the same route that Drake took. It is open to the public and it is well worth a visit. You can even hire it out for children's birthday parties. Now the next bridge in front of us, ladies and gents, will be the famous London Bridge. The fourth London Bridge has stand on this site since Roman times. This one was opened up in 1973 by Her Majesty the Queen. The one before this now stands in the Arizona desert across a man-made lake called Lake Havasu, sold off to America for $1.5 million. Now as we go beneath London Bridge, ladies and gents, if you look very quickly on the left-hand side, look between the first two buildings on the left. Very shortly you're going to see a white column, it's got a golden flame on top. It's Sir Christopher Wren's monument to the Great Fire of London of 1666. It stands 202 feet tall, it is 202 feet from where the fire started in a baker shop in Pudding Lane. But also keep looking on the left-hand side, ladies and gents. You'll see a yellow brick building. It's the old Billingsgate Fish Market. A very famous man started his career inside the building. At the time, he was 15, going by the name of Maurice Micklewhite. He later on changed his name and his profession. He's now known as Sir Michael Thames. Not a lot of people know that. Now if you look in front of us on your right hand side, we have the C-35 HMS Belfast. The Belfast has 12 guns, 6 at forward and 6 at aft, capable of firing a 102-pound shell, 14 land miles. If the Belfast was to fire her guns in anger, she could hit targets in places such as Kew, Croydon and Dartford, 14 miles away. Unfortunately, my mother-in-law lives 15 miles away. You want to meet her. See the flag the Belfast is flying at the front of the boat, the Union Jack. If you ever see that flag flying from any buildings, it is not a Union Jack, it is just a Union flag. The only time it's called a Union Jack when it is flown from the jackstaff of a ship. So, as I say, if you see it on any buildings, it's not a Union Jack, it is just a Union flag. Now the Belfast has over 7 different decks to explore, right away from the engine room up to the navigational bridge. Built in Belfast in the Harland and Wolff shipyard, that is the same shipyard that built the ill-fated Titanic. Now ladies and gents, if you look in front of us on the left hand side, behind the trees we have the world famous Tower of London. Now the centre parts are the oldest parts, and that is where you will see 4 towers and a flagpole, known as the Norman's Keep or the White Tower. Dates back to 1078. There's been many things in its time, including a royal mint, a royal zoo, a royal observatory, a royal fortress, and a place of execution. 2 of the last people to be imprisoned in a tower was actually the Craze brothers. They was only in there overnight. They went AWOL from the army. Now directly in front of us we have the gateway to London, the Tower Road Bridge, designed by Sir John Wolfe-Barry in 1894. The 2 centre spans that we're going to go beneath both weigh in the region of 1,100 tonnes. They can be raised into the upright position in just under 90 seconds. Failed to open once and once only. That was on the opening ceremony when a ship hit the bridge. Now ladies and gents, there is a very old tradition with Tower Bridge. It is said if you see anyone on the bridge today, give them a little wave up there, hopefully they'll wave back. We'll try and get their attention. There you go folks, so give them a wave, hopefully you'll get a wave back. Now it is said if you wave to them and you do receive a wave back, that will bring you 5 years of bad luck. Actually 5 years of luck. So it's a very old tradition, ladies and gents. When the old sailing barges used to come down through the bridge, their loved ones would stand up there to wave them goodbye. Well ladies and gents, as we pass beneath Tower Bridge now then, very shortly, once we get permission, we're going to make our next stop. It's over on the left hand side, St Catherine's Pier for the Tower of London. Now if any passengers have tickets to go to Greenwich or the Thames flood barrier, you must leave the boat at St Catherine's. We do not go to Greenwich, we go back to Westminster. If you are going back to Westminster Pier, you can either stay on board this boat, we go back almost immediately. After us, boats go back every 40 minutes throughout the day. The last returning boat will leave at 5 this evening. 5:20, the last boat in the service. Now at this point, ladies and gents, for your own safety, if we could ask everyone, if you do have a seat, if you